Nathan, we were talking about your teen years, getting ready to graduate. What happened after that?
So I was really that kid that just didn't really understand my purpose. I didn't really, at 15 years old, my older sister, Tennille, and I have another sister from a different marriage, from the same father, and she was always a big part of my life, especially growing up. But she ended up buying me a guitar, and that was really like the first time I had ever encountered playing music, especially.
Did you want to play, or did she just buy it?
I did. It was kind of just a random thing that sparked in my mind. I guess in a way it was a God thing, because I had never played guitar before. I had listened to music in the car, but I just told her, she asked me what I wanted as a gift, and I said, I don't know, a guitar, And she got me one. It was like a $150 guitar from Christie's Music in Slidell, Louisiana. Went and picked it out together. And I started to play a little bit, started to sing a little bit, even started dabbling in writing a little bit, playing in youth group, things like that. But I never, and I mean really never, saw myself as somebody who's gonna get up on stage, play music for a living, get to go around the world ministering or anything like that. I just didn't really truly believe that that's what the Lord had destined for me. Even though there was still kind of like that small voice, it's like, well, you may be able to do it. And for me, I was like, yeah, but I kind of need to do something with my life, and I'm about to graduate, and there's no way I can just sit on the front porch singing songs all day. Like, I've got to do something. So at 17 years old, my grandparents, they had to let me sign up for the Louisiana National Guard, which, is also part of the Army. So they let me sign up. As soon as I graduated, went to basic training, got out of basic training, went to advanced training at Fort Gordon. And at Fort Gordon, Georgia, there was actually, chapel services on base where soldiers would have to lead their own worship, essentially. They were just kind of banking on soldiers knowing how to play some songs and taking the charge in that. So I was actually able to pick the guitar back up while I was in advanced training in Georgia and start leading worship for soldiers there. And that was a really just amazing experience, getting to just show up on Sunday, not knowing what I was going to play, pick out 3 songs and play them with a band who I just met. And it was always like that. So it was a really, really interesting just dynamic of getting kind of my feet thrown to the fire. And I finished advanced training, and I mean, as soon as I got home, because whenever you're in the Guard, you get received back to your unit. And once you figure out your unit, they show up to the ceremony, and they get to put their the unit patch on your shoulder. And when he put the patch on my shoulder, he said, "Oh, and by the way, we're deploying in just a few months, so get ready," basically. And that kind of just like.
Did you know where you were going?
I knew I was going to Kuwait. That's the only thing I knew at the time. I didn't understand what the mission was. I didn't understand exactly what base we were going to or anything like that. And for me, it was a big blow, because I had all these dreams of college, and finally.
Were you scared?
I wasn't scared as much as I was just disappointed, because I truly just didn't know. I didn't understand why I was going to be there. That was the only thing. I knew there was always a possibility that I could get activated by the they call it Big Army, and get pulled into a deployment. But I still didn't understand what my purpose would be there. I mean, I knew what my job was as a signal support specialist, but I'm the kind of guy that's like, well, surely there's a deeper meaning to this, though. Like, I'm not just going over there to do this little job and then, just maintain a presence in Kuwait or anything like that. Surely there's got to be something for me there. And there definitely was. God deployed to Kuwait, and kind of the same story. There was chapel services on base. There was really no like infrastructure at all. And I was able to come in, work with the chaplains that were on base, and literally start up a whole worship team, get to start leading worship for soldiers. And I mean, just the outpouring that we had, right there, at Camp Arab John, Zone 6 Chapel, just soldiers coming and not just getting saved and accepting Christ as Savior, but, coming and getting encouraged and coming, and we were that little glimmer of hope for them, because there were so many issues going on back home, and just so many things that were going on in the minds of these soldiers and Marines and basically every other branch, that we were able to just kind of be just a light in a dark place for them, because being away from your family for 9 months to a year at a time.
How long were you over there?
9 months.
9 months.
So being away from your family, including for me, it was hard. It was really, really difficult being away from family. In a way, it feels like you're just never going to come home. Like it starts to get to that point. So that us getting to be just a light in a dark place and getting to just be that encouragement for soldiers and showing them who Christ is was just a huge turning point for me. And I received so much encouragement out of that from my fellow soldiers.
Is there anybody that stands out, a soldier that stands
Everybody. No, I mean, really, it's no one in particular. It's like every single person. Chaplain Morris was a big guy. He always he always definitely encouraged me in that, and it was just an amazing thing. It was like every single person I met from that experience, when they heard my voice and they heard my story and they got to see, I guess, what the Lord was doing in my life. It was always this constant encouragement about, Nathan, you're anointed. Nathan, we believe you could do this. We believe, when you go home, you need to get into the studio. You should move to Nashville. Just constant being in my mind. And I'm just like, sure, whatever. Like, I always kind of brushed it off, but it got to such a point to where I really couldn't ignore it. And when I got home, I was finally able to start chasing that dream a little bit.
And you got home after 9 months.
Yep.
So then what did you do?
I basically immediately started getting into the studio. God just, orchestrated it in a way.
You're still in Louisiana, right?
I'm in Louisiana
Okay.
at this point. I'm still in the Guard. I got 4 more years left on my contract at this point. But a good friend of mine, Luke, he got out of a university for audio engineering, and he immediately, for some reason, he said, I was at the beach the other day and I thought about you, and I think you should come to the studio I'm making, and I think you should record some music. And as soon as I got home, I started getting to the studio, recording music, and started just developing that.